Pesto's Test Kitchen is the Bistro 1907 Test Kitchen today, and we're excited to have Sam from Maverick and Walker Bagel Company, one of your buddies, right, Mark?
He is. He's also not only a dear friend, but he's also my pastor.
Oh, well, there you go. We'll try to keep it clean and pious for you folks. All right, so tell me about the baking company and the bagel company. When did you get this idea, and when did you get started?
So my wife and I, we took a trip to New York last summer, experienced a New York style bagel for the very first time, and it was just totally different than anything that we had ever experienced before. Now we do work full time at a church, and so we're very busy, so the idea of even wanting to do make a bagel company seemed very far-fetched.
It does.
Yeah, but at Christmas time, our boss, he gives us a week off afterwards because we push really hard for Christmas to do a good job. And I have a history of not sitting still very well. So within that, each Christmas break, I end up doing some sort of project. And this year it was, I'm going to figure out how to make these New York-style bagels. So it started out, I found a documentary on YouTube from the Brooklyn Public Library.
Seriously,
that's awesome. Made in 1979.
Right.
And just some old Jewish guys that were making some bagels, and I was like, man, I've got to give it a try. And so we were just playing with dough with my kids, Maverick and Walker, and just kind of went from there. Started feeding some of these bagels for our family, and it's Christmas time, so I figured they're just trying to be super kind. They're telling me, oh, it's so great, it's so good. And from there, one of my family members actually blessed me with some money, and he said, you need to turn this thing into a business. And so I said, well, I've got time on my hands this week, so let's go for it.
In 1 week?
In 1 week. And so from there, we hired a graphic artist. Her name's Lydia Tarleton. She is incredible.
I love your branding. It really shows through, and it's very, very well done.
Yeah, the logo's cool. That's for sure.
Yeah, super intentional. We really are. The branding is a high priority for us, the look of everything. And then from there, we just said we're going to continue to try and make these bagels. From there, we were trying to find some more ingredients because not everything that we needed to make a true New York style bagel was available at a local grocery store.
Okay, tell us the difference then.
So one of the biggest things was barley malt syrup. It's a classic ingredient. It is really, really thick.
We have some boiling right here, right?
We do.
Okay.
We use that to boil, and we actually put it in the dough as well.
Okay.
And so I was kind of calling all over the place. I was going around to different bakeries, kind of like a crazy person, like, do you make your bagels here? Tell me everything about these bagels. I need this malt syrup. And nobody knew what I was looking for. And except for one guy, and a good friend of mine, his name's Mike Landgraf, and he actually blessed me with some free barley malt syrup and hooked me up.
Got me
owner of the bread chef.
Super nice,
super
nice
great people.
family.
Great guy.
Did you know all this about bagels?
I knew the difference between bagels and what is commonly out on the market. Bagels, it's a step of love you have to do. We're going to take the bagels. Sammy's going to show you the procedure, but after you raise them, you actually dip them into boiling water, and what that achieves is it gives you texture. It gives you that chew, which is only in that kind of style of bagel, because the other bagels are mostly raised, put in the oven, and sold to the consumer. So that extra step gives it that chew, kind of like when you go to New York City and you get a great slice of pizza and you got that chew on the crust. Same idea.
Do you want to roll a couple for us, Sam?
Absolutely. So what we're going to do, I just kind of making it into a log, and I try to make sure that it's as even as possible. And then from there, to get that shape, I'm going to wrap around 3 of my fingers instead of all 4 because I got big hands. And then,
the curse.
The curse. And then from there, I'm just kind of rolling out just to get that seam. I do a little bit of a twist, and that's pretty much it.
That's it.
That's it. That gives the shape.
But this is a 2-day process instead of just 15, 20 minutes, right?
Yeah. So what we do is we usually will spend a night where we're just making dough and we're just shaping it. And at a time, we'll go and do we'll shape anywhere from about 800 to 1,000 bagels in an evening. Normally, a normal batch will be we'll get 35 bagels out of it to fill up one of these boards. We do them about 9 minutes at a time.
You have a bunch of different flavors. How many different flavors? And tell me some of the flavors you've got.
So right now we have 7 different flavors. We've got our cheddar garlic, which is a great balance of garlic, cheddar, and on top of it, really thick. And then we also have our sassy cheddar garlic, which just has the same thing, but it has a little bit of jalapenos chopped up in it.
That'd make a great club sandwich, man.
Oh, it's so good. Great on a burger, too. And then we have our sesame seed, just classic. We have everything, which is just kind of this hodgepodge of all these different seasonings. We've got lemon blueberry for the summer. Then we've got blueberry cinnamon. We figured we love cinnamon, we love blueberry. Let's put them together. It should be a good match, right?
What's the highest seller? What's the one people like to mention the most?
Right. So right now it's our lemon blueberry and cheddar garlic.
Those are on the right-hand side there as we look at
Now,
those.
where do you set up shop?
Right now we have sort of every single week we're at Halland Farmers Market.
Okay, that's great. Such a nice area.
It's beautiful. We love Halland. We're there from 9 to 1 every Saturday. And we kind of been taking on a lot of different pop-up shops kind of all over Youngstown too. We really want to be here as well, so we're kind of everywhere.
Your malt syrup is boiling.
Yes, sir.
Should we put a couple in?
Let's
Is that
go
what we
for
do?
it.
Is that the next step?
That would be the next step. So
Okay.
we'll go from there, and then we just kind of drop them in.
Just plop them in.
And typically, we could do like up to 8 at a time.
Well, we're going to work on that. We're going to try to get you a bigger,
bigger
stove
pot.
up here so you have a bigger pot.
Yeah, our
a little
dream-
bit like Jaws. You're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
How long do they sit in there? Or how do you know when they're done? Do they float?
So typically, So typically, when they are fully proofed, they will float right up to the top. So if they're underproofed at all, they'll pretty much sink to the bottom. We leave these in for anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes. And what you're looking for is you almost want like a skin type consistency around the bagel itself. And so we're just always kind of twisting them around and just getting them to be completely covered in that malt, because what the malt does as well is it helps us that when we're going to go and we're going to seed them, we're going to actually put the different seasonings on. That malt actually helps it stick to.
So it acts as the glue.
It does. That's exactly
That's awesome.
right.
Okay. How about I stir it?
Yeah.
And Mark, you can tell people that some of these are on the menu, right?
Some of these are, yeah.
Go grab some out of the oven for us,
everything
Sam.
is on the menu. We serve that with our salmon bagel lox in the mornings and at night. As a matter of fact, you can get it. We're open 18 hours a day, so you can get that. And we serve that with a herb chive cream cheese, and then you get a little bit of to put a French twist on it. We have a nice frisee salad with an apple cider and mustard vinaigrette. So all those combination of creamy, salty, savory from the salmon, and plus all the different flavors, the garlic, the sesame, and onion on the bagel just really combines well and makes a great. It's one of our most popular breakfast items,
So
especially
Sam,
Sunday brunch.
Once you get them out of here, do they go right into the oven after that, or how does it work?
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll load them up on a tray. We'll get them seated, and then we'll get them in the oven. We'll start cooking.
All right, man.
Well, we're going to have them cook, and then when we come back, we're going to do some sandwiches, right?
We're going to do some sandwiches. We're going to show what you can do with bagels. Just because you had a bagel and it was sitting in your bread box and they kind of went a little bit stale, doesn't mean you have to throw them away, Mike. So we can turn those bagels into bagel chips and have some fun with them, and that's what we're going to show when we come back.
All right, we'll be back. The Maverick and Walker Baking Company. Do you have a website or anything like that we can promote?
Yeah, iwantbagels.com.
All right, I love it.
That makes it easy. And we'll make some sandwiches in the next half hour. Pesto's Test Kitchen is the Bistro 1907 kitchen this week, and Mark is with me, along with Sam, who is one of the folks in charge of the Maverick and Walker Bagel Company. Thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we're going to put some things on your bagels if you don't mind.
Come on, let's do
Yeah,
it.
we're going to build some things, but what I want to say is, we're talking about when you have these bagels and they're great, what's the shelf life of a bagel?
Yeah.
Typically, they last a week. Our bagels, we recommend keeping them in the fridge.
Okay, so if you don't do that and you left them out on your counter, I think there's something we can do if they get a little hard, a little bit drier. We can take those and cut those down into bagel, like little rounds, little chips. And what we're going to do is we're just going to drizzle those with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. You can use canola oil, you can use grapeseed, whatever your dietary needs are. And we just want to drizzle that a little bit. We're going to place those in a 375-degree oven for about 4 to 5 minutes. They're going to get crispy and brown, and we're going to come back and we're going to use that to do with this wonderful dip for different kind of chips and dip. And we're also going to top some French onion soup with those, Mike.
Wonderful.
Because I think that's going to be fantastic.
All right.
So Sam, if you can hand me that bowl, we're going to make this Mediterranean dip, and I don't know, you have a little bit of Mediterranean roots as well. So we're going to start off some cream cheese, because bagels and cream cheese, right? One of the best classic things you can have. Cream cheese. I love cream cheese. Get a good cream cheese. You should leave it out at room temperature a little bit for maybe about an hour so it's easy to work with.
Good idea.
We're going to add some roasted artichokes that I roasted previously in the oven. We're going to add some scallions. God, I love feta cheese. How about you, man? We're going to add some feta cheese, a little bit salty, a little bit pungent, that creaminess of the cheese. We're going to add that in there. Some baby sweet red peppers, which I love because the sweetness, the savoriness of it, it really goes well. Some Kalamata olives. You got to have the, I know, man, they're so good. So briny and flavorful. Roasted garlic for all those garlic lovers out there. I like a little spice, so I'm gonna add a little bit of Fresno. You want to heat it up a lot?
Yeah.
Well, let's kick it up, man. For your kids, you might want to cut back on that if you don't want to do it at home.
Or any human.
A little bit of salt, a little pepper, and we're just gonna combine this all together. And it's really, really easy. You can do it in a mixer, you can use it with a spoon, whatever you want to do, just combine it together. And then we're going to place it in the tube. You can place it in grandma's cast iron skillet. If you have a casserole dish, glass casserole dish, whatever you want to do, we're just going to take this, mix it together, and then we're going to put it into this, and we're going to bake in the oven. Again, 375. We're probably going to go about 20-25 minutes until this has a nice gratinade crust on top. And then we're going to have those great bagel chips with it. If you could take that. So that's one thing you can do for this. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to build a sandwich, because I think your platform of your bagels with that chew really makes for a great sandwich. So we took the everything bagel, cut them in half, and do you like a Cuban sandwich?
I do.
Where'd you have your first Cuban sandwich?
It wasn't Cuba.
It wasn't Cuba.
And it wasn't. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, but they are
I
great.
do like it.
So we're going to take some great mustard that we make in-house. You could use your favorite. Classically, it comes with Dijon and dill pickles, but we kind of do things a little different at Bistro and in my family. So we're just going to put that down.
They crank it up a little bit, don't they?
We do. We're going to take bread and butter pickles, because I like that sweetness of the bread. I love the bread and butter pickles. I always have since I was a kid. So we're going to put those down. We have our Applejack brine turkey breast. Put down some turkey breast, and it's been smoked, so it has that great smoked flavor. Now we're going to add some of that beautiful pork that you have to have.
I was wondering what that was.
And this is, again, we smoked this in-house outside with our smoker. Then, of course, you have to have Swiss cheese. Put on some Swiss cheese. Do you like a lot of Swiss, Michael?
I like all cheeses.
You like all cheeses?
Yes.
Any cheese you don't like? Because we know there's a list.
I know there's a list. So far, I like all cheeses.
All right, that's even
I'll tell
brie.
you if that changes.
All right,
I enjoy a brie.
So we're gonna put these in our panini press. Come back for that. If you could hand me those French onion soups, and Michael, if you could hand me those bagel chips.
Yep. Let's get that out of the way.
So we have this beautiful French onion soup. It's one of our #1 sellers. We have 48-hour beef bone broth. We're going to take some of these bagel chips, put them right on top. Instead of using French bread, use these bagel chips. What a great use for these, and the flavor profile is phenomenal. So we're going to take a little bit, I like a little bit of Parmesan and Gruyere mixed. And those, Parmesan is the grandfather of all cheeses. And we're going to place some more Swiss cheese on these crocs.
A grandfather that yells at you for
no, just
for not hitting correctly
there's
the baseball game?
There's some Budweiser's the king of beers. This is the king of cheeses. So we're going to take. You want some more? Okay, we'll put some more. I did it underneath.
Oh, okay.
So we have a double cheese. We have a double tap of cheese. We're going to bake these in the oven again, 375 for about 8 minutes until it's nice and bubbly and hot. We're going to come back. We're going to talk more about bagels. We're going to show you how these bagels are eaten, and we're going to try some.
Oh, we'll show you how they're eaten. I promise.
All right, everybody. We'll be right back.
Everything's out of the oven. Does this not look good?
It's amazing.
I mean, you knew your bagels were good, and then we
I didn't know they were this good.
Yeah, I know.
Well, this is how we take your bagels and we kick it up like several layers and notches, and then look at how happy they look. I mean, the bagel chips look great, don't they?
Yep.
Unbelievable.
That was easy.
Can't wait to dig in.
Well, you can do these bagel chips. You can put anything on them. You could actually add more of your everything bagel mix on top of it. Mm-hmm. You could do this with a simple French onion dip. You could do it with whatever dip you created, a vegetable dip, the good old North Swiss vegetable dip. But we made that Mediterranean dip with the roasted olives and artichokes and garlic and olives and sweet peppers, so that's going to be fantastic. But look at the Cuban, how that your bagel really took to that panini press really, really well. Got a nice char in it. It's going to accentuate the flavor of the sesame and the garlic, and then all the other flavors coming through.
That is awesome. Awesome. Mike's already digging in.
Yeah, I didn't want to wait.
And then, of course, French onion soup. I think this is a Mike K's favorite.
Oh, it's so good, and you can only get it when you go to a nice restaurant. You know
really
what I mean?
can, because you know what? When you make really good French onion soup, and there's a whole history besides French onion soup. It was a necessity food during a war, but during the French War, and this has so many layers of flavor because we take the beef bones and we roast them first. We roast the vegetables that go into it. We add a lot of sherry wine. It cooks for 48 hours in our kettles downstairs. Really has a great sweet flavor because of the caramelized onions and the Swiss and everything. So just, to me, my favorite all-time soup.
Let's go over these bagels one more time. If people are tuning in now and they missed the previous segment, the difference between your bagel, a New York-style bagel,
That's right,
and the other kind is what, in like 20 seconds?
The biggest thing is that we boil them before we bake them. A typical bagel that you may get at the store, I would consider a bread bagel, which is where they just make the dough and they let it rise and they bake it. Because we boil it first, it gives it an amazing chew.
So it's chewy on the inside when you get it.
Oh, yeah.
Where can people get these?
We can do it at Howland Farmers Market. We're there every week, or at iwantbagels.com.
Yeah, what do you do when the farmers market ends? It ends in the fall, probably.
I know. Well, we're figuring that out. You can also do it at Nova Coffee in downtown Warren. Actually, sells our bagels as well.
Awesome. Seven different flavors. If you haven't tried it, please try it. iwantbagels.com.
Well, I'm getting down on some of this dip, man. I want to check this out and see how it tastes.
You want me to cut one in half?
The crunch of these bagels.
For it. I can't wait.
All right.
Phenomenal.
And I got it. Boy, that is a crispy bagel, isn't it?
Goodness.
That's a crispy bagel, man.
There you go. You got it?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll eat the other half.
We'll do this together.
Okay.
All right.
1,
2, 3.
Delightful.
Is that great? Got all those great flavors.
Immediately the mustard.
Plus all the flavors, that roasted garlic you put on top of your bagel and the sesame seeds, that all comes through in the flavor profiles. We take a lot of pride in the 2 meats that we put on there, but none of this could happen without that great bagel, man.
Oh my goodness, thanks so much.
Yep, and if you're tailgating, football's going to start pretty soon. This dip is going to be your go-to.
It's going to be killer for football.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Sam.
All right, man.
Good job.
On the road with the test kitchen again.